The diner floor was sticky under Zuri's worn sneakers. Grease, old ketchup, regret. She wiped down table 4 for the 3rd time tonight. Neon sign outside buzzed and flickered. Open 24 HRs, it promised. Half the letters were dead, like most promises in this place. Late night shift, tired staff, cheap coffee, cheaper tips. Zuri's uniform stretched tight across her belly, 8 months pregnant, swollen ankles, back screaming with every step. But she kept moving. Had to. No choice. This job didn't ask questions. Paid under the table. Let her hide. Hiding was the only thing keeping her alive. The door chimed. She didn't look up. Just another group of drunk college kids wanting fries and... The diner went quiet. Wrong kind of quiet. Zuri's head lifted. 3 men in tailored suits walked in. Expensive watches. Cold eyes. The kind of men who made problems disappear. Behind them, a 4th man, and a woman on his arm. Pretty. Tight dress. Red lips. The kind of girl who looked good in photos. But Zuri didn't see her. She saw him. Ryu Ji-ho. The room tilted. He moved like he owned the world. Maybe he did. People shifted in their seats. Eyes dropped. Whispers started and died fast. Everyone felt it. The power, the danger. He was the king of Atlanta's underworld, and everyone in this diner knew it without being told. His eyes scanned the room, lazy, bored. Then they landed on her. Everything else disappeared. The date on his arm, his men, the diner, the world, just him. Just her. Just the 8 months of silence screaming between them. Zuri's heart slammed into her ribs. No, not like this. Not here. Panic clawed up her throat. Shame burned her chest. And underneath it all, something worse. Longing. Her mind raced. He's the ex-husband. He wasn't supposed to find me. I thought I disappeared properly. Ji-ho stood. Slow. Deliberate. His date reached for him. He didn't notice, didn't care. He crossed the room. Whispers erupted. Fear rippled through the diner like a wave. People leaned back, gave him space. Some looked away, but Zuri couldn't move. She was frozen, a rabbit in a trap. Prey that just realized the hunter never stopped looking. He stopped in front of her. Up close, she saw it. The coldness, the hardness. 7 months had carved something darker into him. But his eyes, God, his eyes still made her knees weak. Zuri! His voice was low, controlled, lethal. What is this? Her throat closed, his gaze dropped to her belly. She watched him do the math, watched the realization hit, watched his jaw tighten and his fists clench. 8 months pregnant, 7 months since she vanished. He knew. Please. Her voice cracked, shook, broke. Just go. Hate me if you want. Pretend you never saw me. Pretend? He laughed. It sounded like shattered glass. You think I can pretend? He stepped closer. She smelled his cologne. The same one. It made something inside her chest collapse. I looked for you, he said quietly, dangerously. For months. I know. Then, why? She couldn't answer. Couldn't tell him. Not here. Not now. Maybe not ever. The baby kicked. Hard. She gasped, hand flying to her stomach. Ji-ho saw. His whole body went rigid. He reached out, grabbed her wrist, firm, unyielding, like he thought she might vanish into smoke if he didn't hold on. The baby kicked again, right there, right where his hand hovered near her belly. Something in his face cracked. He leaned in close. So close she felt his breath on her skin. Hate me when I'm inside you. His voice was raw, wrecked. Inside your life again, inside the story of that child. The diner held its breath. Zuri's tears spilled over, and she knew. Right then. Right there. This was the beginning of the end, to understand why the most feared Korean Mafia boss in Atlanta is shaking in a cheap diner over a black pregnant waitress. We have to go back to where Zuri's story in America really began. Before we continue, besties, please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is your only way of supporting us, as we also promise to bring you interesting and hooking stories every single day. Also, tell me in the comments section where you are watching from and what time it is there. I want to know how my story of love has traveled. Enugu smelled like rain and red dirt. Zuri stood outside her mother's provision shop. Tiny, tin roof, shelves stocked with Indomie noodles, blue band butter, bags of rice that fed families for weeks. This shop was everything, Mama's whole world in 4 walls. "You will call when you land?" Mama's voice was steady, but her hands shook. "Yes, Mama." "And you will eat well? Not just bread and tea?" "I will eat." "And you will send?" "I will send money, I promise." Mama pulled her close. Zuri felt her mother's heartbeat, felt her fear, her hope, her desperation wrapped up in one hug. "Come back better than you left," Mama whispered, "or don't come back at all." It wasn't cruel, it was truth. If Zuri failed, the shop would close. Her younger siblings would drop out of school. Everything Mama sacrificed would mean nothing. No pressure. America hit her like a slap. The airport was cold. White, impersonal. Everyone moved fast like they had somewhere important to be. Immigration officer barely looked at her. "Zuri?" He butchered her name. "Zuri. Whatever. Next." She dragged her suitcase through sliding doors into winter. First time seeing snow. First time feeling cold that hurt your bones. First time realizing she was completely alone. Community college was a blur of fluorescent lights and used textbooks. Her first apartment had roaches and a landlord who banged on the door if rent was one day late. Her second apartment wasn't better, just louder. She worked at a Nigerian restaurant. Small place tucked between a laundromat and a pawn shop. Smelled like home. Jollof rice, fried plantain, egusi soup, but it paid almost nothing. Under the table, cash only. The owner knew she needed it more than she needed paperwork. She worked doubles, took night classes, slept 4 hours if she was lucky. Between shifts, she sketched. Notebooks, napkins, margins of textbooks, Ankara prints mixed with Korean street fashion, bold patterns meeting clean lines, colors that screamed confidence with cuts that whispered elegance. Afro-Korean fusion. That was her dream. Nobody was doing it. Not like this. Not the way she saw it. She could see the runway in her head, models in her designs, cameras flashing, her name in lights. But right now, she was wiping tables and dodging roaches. Nights were the hardest. She'd call home on cheap Wi-Fi. Video always froze. Audio always cut out. "How is America?" Mama would ask. "Good, Mama, very good." Lie. "You are eating." "Yes, Mama." Lie. "You are safe?" "Very safe." Biggest lie. She was tired, broke, lonely, scared she'd fail and drag everyone down with her. But she smiled through the pixelated screen and said, "I'm fine, Mama." Because that's what daughters do. They carry the weight so their mothers don't have to. Months blurred together. Wake up, class, work, sketch, sleep, repeat. Her hands smelled like bleach and groundnut oil. Her back hurt, her eyes burned, but she kept going. Because if she stopped, what was it all for? The goodbyes? The sacrifice? The loneliness? If she failed, she didn't just fail herself. She failed Mama, her siblings, everyone who believed she could be more. So she pushed. Every single day. She thought the hardest part of her American dream would be money. She was wrong. The hardest part was about to walk through the restaurant door wearing a suit and a bored expression. Ryu Ji-ho didn't come for the food. He came for business. The kind that involved envelopes and quiet conversations about protection. Atlanta was expanding. His family's reach was expanding with it. Nigerian restaurant tucked in the corner of a strip mall? That was his territory now. He walked in with 2 men, tailored suits, cold faces. The owner saw them and went pale. Ji-ho barely noticed. This was routine. Collect, intimidate, leave. Boring. He stood near the counter, waiting for the owner to finish with a customer. "Excuse me." He didn't move. "Sir, excuse me." A voice, female, irritated. He turned. A girl stood there, tray in hand, apron stained, hair tied back, eyes sharp, and annoyed. "If you're not ordering, please step aside. People are trying to eat." His men froze. Nobody talked to Ji-ho like that, ever. He stared at her. She stared back. No fear, no recognition, just a tired waitress who wanted him out of her way. Something in his chest shifted. He stepped aside. His men exchanged looks, confused, shocked. The girl nodded and moved past him, like he was nobody. Ji-ho watched her go. Interesting. He came back 3 days later. Not for business, for food. At least that's what he told himself. She was there. Same apron, same tired eyes. She didn't recognize him. "What can I get you?" "What's good?" "Everything. But if you can't handle pepper, stay. Away from the jollof." "I can handle it," she smirked. "We'll see." He ordered jollof rice. Extra pepper. Big mistake. His mouth caught fire. His eyes watered. He forced himself to chew and swallow without flinching. She walked by, saw his face, grinned. "Told you." He wanted to be annoyed, but he laughed instead. First real laugh in months. He kept coming back, once a week, then twice, then every few days. Always ordered something new. Always let her recommend it. She teased him about the pepper, corrected his Igbo. "Dalu," he tried. "Dalu," she said, laughing. "You sound like a lost tourist." "I am a lost tourist." "Then let me be your guide." He liked that, more than he should. They talked. She told him about school, tuition she couldn't afford, rent that ate her paycheck, sending money home every month even when she barely had enough to eat. He told her half-truths, family business, logistics, moving around a lot, pressure from Korea to be someone he wasn't sure he wanted to be. She listened, really listened, didn't judge, didn't pry, just nodded and said, "Sounds heavy." "It is." "Then put it down sometimes." Simple, but it hit him like a punch. One night, she left her sketchbook on the counter. He flipped it open while she was in the back. Designs, dozens of them. Ankara prints mixed with sharp tailoring, bold colors meeting clean lines, fusion he'd never seen before. She came back and snatched it away, embarrassed. These are incredible. They're just sketches." "No." He looked at her seriously. "You shouldn't be wiping tables. You should be fitting models." Her face softened, then hardened. "That takes money I don't have." "What if you did?" "What?" He pulled out an envelope. Cash. Enough to cover materials, rent, maybe more. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. "No. You haven't even... I'm not your project." She shoved the envelope back, walked away. His men looked confused. Ji-ho just smiled. Most people took his money without question, begged for it, sold themselves for it. But not her. She had pride, fire, something real in a world full of fake. He sat back in the booth, watching her serve other customers. If money can't convince her, he thought, maybe something stronger will. "Come out with me." Zuri looked up from wiping down a table. Ji-ho stood there. No suit this time, just jeans and a black shirt. He looked almost normal. Almost. "Like a date?" she asked. "Like a date. I don't think that's a good idea." "Why not?" "Because you're mysterious. Because I don't know what you really do. Because getting close to you feels dangerous." "I'm busy," she said instead. "Tomorrow night, then." "I work." "I'll wait." He did. The rooftop bar overlooked the city. Lights stretched forever. Music hummed low. People laughed and clinked glasses. Zuri felt out of place in her cheap dress and borrowed heels. Ji-ho noticed. "You look perfect." "I look broke." "You look real." That word again, real. He talked differently up, here, away from his men, away from the weight he carried. He told her about growing up in Seoul, about a father who died when he was 12, about a mother who handed him an empire he never asked for. "Sounds lonely," Zuri said. "It is." She told him about Enugu, about Mama's shop, about the pressure to succeed so everyone back home could survive. "Sounds heavy," he said. She smiled. "It is." "Then put it down sometimes." Her own words thrown back at her. They both laughed. He started picking her up after class. They'd walk. Talk about nothing, everything, music, food, language, dreams. He taught her Korean phrases. She taught him Igbo proverbs. "Onye agalan wanaya," she said. "What does that mean?" No one should leave their brother behind. He went quiet. She saw something shift in his face. "You okay?" "Yeah." He squeezed her hand. "Yeah." She cooked jollof rice in her tiny kitchen. He pretended it wasn't spicy. Sweat beaded on his forehead. His face turned red. "You're dying," she said, laughing. "I'm fine." "You're literally crying." "It's good crying." She handed him milk. He chugged it. She laughed so hard she cried too. Later, he told her about the loneliness, the way people feared him but never knew him, the way his world was built on violence and he didn't know how to step outside it. She told him about the fear of failing, fear of disappointing Mama, fear of being invisible in a country that didn't see her. "I see you," he said quietly. And for the first time in America, she believed someone did. He proposed in her apartment. No ring, no fancy setup, just him sitting on her worn couch looking nervous. "Marry me." She blinked. "What?" "Marry me, before someone takes the choice away." "Jiho, your mother will hate me. Your world will eat me alive." "Then let it try. I'll burn it down first." She stared at him. This man who terrified grown men, this man who was shaking, asking her to be his wife. "Why me?" "Because you're the only person who makes me feel like I'm more than what I do, like I'm enough just being me." Her heart cracked open. Yes, courthouse wedding. The clerk butchered both their names. They laughed. Jiho held her hand. "If the world hates you, they have to come through me first." She kissed him, believed him. They moved into his high-rise condo, suya next to kimchi in the fridge, Afro beats blending with Korean ballads, her sketches on his walls, his suits next to her thrift store dresses. Unlikely, imperfect, but theirs. Their first night as husband and wife, laughter echoed off the glass walls. They didn't know someone was already watching, already planning, already sharpening the knife that would cut them apart. Madame Ryu arrived in Atlanta, like winter. Cold, beautiful, deadly, designer luggage, tailored coat, hair pulled back tight, heels that clicked like a countdown. Her entourage followed, silent, efficient. Jiho got the call an hour before she landed. "She's coming," he told Zuri. His face was tight. "Your mother?" "Yeah." "That's good, right? I can finally meet her." He didn't answer. That should have been her first warning. The meeting was at Jiho's office. Zuri wore her best dress, did her hair, practiced her greeting in Korean. She wanted to make a good impression. Madame Ryu walked in and looked at her the way you look at a stain on expensive fabric. "So," her English was perfect, cold. "You're the wife." "Yes, ma'am. It's an honor to—" "Interesting choice." Madame Ryu turned to Jiho. "Atlanta must have changed you." The air shifted. Zuri felt it, the dismissal, the judgment. She smiled anyway. "I'm very happy to meet you." Madame Ryu didn't smile back. Lunch invitations started coming. Always just the two of them. Always expensive restaurants where Zuri felt out of place. Madame Ryu picked apart everything. "Your accent is quite strong. Have you considered speech classes? Your hair is bold. In Seoul, professional women keep things more refined. That dress, is it from a thrift store?" Backhanded compliments wrapped in silk. "You're very pretty. For your background." "I'm sure you're trying your best to fit in." Zuri swallowed her pride, smiled, stayed polite. This was Jiho's mother. She could handle it, but it got worse. Do you really think you can survive in Seoul high society? My son is important. His wife's image reflects on the entire family. People talk, about the African girl who trapped the Ryu heir. Trapped? Zuri's hands clenched under the table. I didn't trap anyone. We love each other. Love? Madame Ryu laughed, soft, sharp. How sweet, how naive. Jiho noticed. My mother said something to you. She's just adjusting. Zuri, it's fine. But it wasn't fine. He confronted his mother. Voices rose behind closed doors. She's my wife. She's a liability. I love her. Love makes you weak. Enemies will use her against you, against us. I don't care. You will. Zuri started to feel it, the weight of not belonging. She'd catch staff whispering, see the way Jiho's associates looked at her, feel the distance Madame Ryu created wherever she went. She tried harder, cooked Korean food, learned more phrases, dressed differently. Nothing worked, because Madame Ryu didn't want her to fit in. She wanted her gone. Zuri didn't know how far Madame Ryu would go. Not yet. Not until she stood in the bathroom one evening, hands shaking, staring at 2 pink lines. Pregnant. Tears spilled over. Happy ones. Scared ones. She touched her stomach, whispered to the life growing inside her. We're going to be okay. Your daddy loves us. We're going to be okay. She didn't hear the door open behind her, didn't see Madame Ryu's face in the hallway mirror, didn't know the clock had just started ticking. Later that night, Madame Ryu made a call. Her voice was calm, businesslike. We have to act before she traps him permanently. On the other end, someone agreed. Plans were made, moves calculated. Madame Ryu hung up and looked out at the Atlanta skyline. Her son thought love was enough. He'd learn soon. In her world, love was the first thing you sacrificed to survive. And Zuri? She was about to learn that too. Zuri kept the secret for 3 days. 3 days of touching her stomach when no one was looking. 3 days of smiling at nothing. 3 days of imagining how to tell him. She pictured it 100 different ways. Over breakfast, during a walk, in bed at night. Jiho, we're having a baby. She imagined his face. The shock, the smile. The way he'd pull her close and whisper promises into her hair. She dreamed about their child. Curls and slanted eyes, brown skin, her nose, his jaw, Ankara bibs and tiny handbox. 2 worlds wrapped in one perfect little person. She was scared, terrified actually, but also happy. For the first time since coming to America, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Zuri, it's Madame Ryu. Her stomach dropped. I need to see you, today, alone. I don't think... It's about my son, his safety. If you care about him at all, you'll come. The line went dead. The hotel was the kind with valet parking and marble floors. Zuri felt small walking through the lobby in her cheap coat and worn sneakers. 23rd floor, suite 2307. She knocked. Madame Ryu opened the door. Elegant, cold, a queen in her castle. Come in. The suite was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, furniture that cost more than Zuri's yearly tuition. And in the next room, partially visible through the doorway, a man stood, silent, hands folded, gun visible under his jacket. Zuri's mouth went dry. Sit, Madame Ryu said. Zuri sat. You love my son. It wasn't a question. Yes. Then you'll understand why you need to leave him. What? Madame Ryu leaned forward. Jiho is not a businessman. He's a weapon. Our family has enemies, dangerous ones. The kind that don't just kill you. They make you watch everyone you love die first. Zuri's heart pounded. He can protect. He can't protect you. Not from this. Madame Ryu slid an envelope across the table. They already know about you. They're already watching. Zuri's hands shook. If you stay, they'll use you, torture you, kill you, and force him to watch. Is that the love you want to give him? He wouldn't let that happen. He won't have a choice. Madame Ryu opened the envelope. Papers. Legal papers. Divorce papers. With Ji-ho's signature at the bottom. Zuri's world tilted. No, he wouldn't. He already agreed. He just doesn't have the courage to face you. You're lying. Am I? Zuri stared at the signature. It looked real. The loops, the slant, everything. But something felt wrong. I want to hear it from him. And put him in more danger? Madame Ryu's voice turned sharp. The moment you confront him, people will know. They'll move faster. Your little reunion will get him killed. Tears burned Zuri's eyes. I'm pregnant. Silence. Madam. Ryu's face didn't change. Even worse. A child makes you both targets. That baby will be leverage. They'll take it, hurt it, use it to control him for the rest of his life. No, no. Yes. Madame Ryu leaned back. Unless you leave, disappear. Let him think you chose to go. Let him move on. Let him survive. I can't. The enforcer stepped forward. Zuri saw the gun clearly now. Her breath stopped. Your mother has a shop in Enugu, Madame Ryu said softly, calmly. Small place, tin roof. She's there alone most days. Zuri's blood turned to ice. Accidents happen. Fires, robberies, terrible things in dangerous neighborhoods. Don't you dare. Yeah, then sign. The pen sat on the table. Heavy. Final. Zuri looked at it. Looked at the gun. Looked at the papers. Her love for Ji-ho. Her love for their baby. Her love for Mama. All of it was being used as a weapon against her. She picked up the pen. Her hand shook. The ink was too dark. The letters too permanent. She signed. Every stroke felt like dying. Madame Ryu smiled, collected the papers. Smart girl. Zuri stood, legs weak, vision blurred. She walked out, hand on her belly, heart in pieces. I'm sorry, she whispered to the baby, to Ji-ho, to herself. Somewhere across the city, Ji-ho was shopping. Tiny shoes, soft blankets, a mobile with stars and moons. He didn't know yet. Didn't know he'd come home to an empty closet and a broken heart. Ji-ho came home with bags, baby clothes, a stuffed lion, a book about being a new dad. He was nervous, excited, terrified, but ready. Zuri? He called out. Silence. He frowned, set the bags down, walked through the apartment. Her slippers were gone. Her favorite mug, missing. The closet, empty. His chest tightened. Zuri? Nothing. Then he saw it. Envelope on the counter, divorce papers, his signature, a note. I don't belong in your world. Don't look for me. Cold, final. Not like her at all, but it was her handwriting. He read it again, again, again. Denial hit first. This is a joke. She's hiding. She'll come out laughing any second. But the closet stayed empty. The silence stayed heavy. Anger came next. He punched the wall. Knuckles split. Blood-smeared white paint. Grabbed a glass table. Flipped it. Shattered. Find her! He roared into his phone. His men scrambled. They checked everything. CCTV around the building. She left alone. One suitcase. No struggle. Hospitals, shelters. Her old job at the restaurant. Nothing. He shook down informants, bribed airline workers, threatened anyone who might have helped her disappear. Every lead went cold. She was a ghost. Madame Ryu found him 3 days later, unshaven, drunk, apartment destroyed. Ji-ho, get out. I'm so sorry. She sat beside him, touched his shoulder. Some women are ungrateful. You gave her everything. She took it and ran. She wouldn't. But she did. He wanted to argue, wanted to scream. But the papers were real. The note was real. The empty closet was real. Madame Ryu's voice was soft, sympathetic. You'll heal. You'll find someone better. Someone who deserves you. She left. He stayed, staring at the note like it held answers it didn't have. Weeks became months. Ji-ho stopped sleeping, started working. Business deals turned brutal. Enemies disappeared. Blood stained his hands more than usual. His men whispered, worried. Boss is different. Cold. Scary. He didn't care. He went through the motions. Hookups with women whose names he forgot. Bodies that felt wrong. Faces that weren't hers. Every single one was a reminder. She left. She chose to leave. She didn't want you. He kept a box under his bed. Her scarf. Her sketchbook. A broken necklace she wore on their wedding day. He'd open it sometimes, late at night. When the apartment felt too big and the silence too loud, he'd hold the scarf, smell her perfume fading, and hate himself for still caring. 6 months in, he started to believe it. She left because she wanted to. Not because she had to, because she wanted to. It was easier that way. Cleaner. If she was forced, he'd have to find who did it. Burn the world down. Start a war. But if she chose to go, then it was just heartbreak. And heartbreak he could survive. So he hardened around that belief, built walls, locked doors, became colder. The man who laughed over jollof rice died the day she left. What remained was the weapon his mother always wanted him to be. 7 months later, he stopped looking, stopped hoping, started living like she was dead. It was better that way, safer. Until the night fate dragged him into a random Atlanta diner and proved she was very much alive and carrying his child. He had finally started to live like she was dead, until the night fate dragged him into a random Atlanta diner and proved she was very much alive and carrying his child. Zuri's life had shrunk to this. Cramped studio above a laundromat, walls thin enough to hear every argument, every cry, every life louder than hers. Her feet swelled so bad she couldn't wear real shoes anymore, just cheap slip-ons that barely fit. Her back screamed every time she stood, sat, existed, but she worked. Double shifts, triple if they'd let her, because rent was due, because the baby needed things, because stopping meant thinking and thinking meant breaking. At night, alone in the dark, she'd whisper to her belly, "Just us. We'll be okay. Just us." She didn't believe it, but she said it anyway. Tonight, the diner was hell. Boss screaming about table turnover, customers snapping fingers like she was a dog, tips that barely covered bus fare. Her body was giving out. She felt it, joints aching, vision blurring, baby pressing against her ribs like it was trying to escape. "If I can just make it to birth," she whispered. "If we can just survive until then." The door chimed. She glanced up. Another group of late-night customers. Then her heart stopped. 3 men in suits, expensive, dangerous, and him, Ryu Ji-ho, with a woman on his arm. No, not here, not tonight, not ever. She turned fast, too fast, almost dropped her tray. "Hey, you okay?" another waitress asked. Yeah, can you take table 7? "Sure." Zuri moved toward the kitchen, tried to blend into the background, tried to become invisible. But she felt his eyes, felt the exact moment he saw her. Time slowed, sound muffed. The diner faded. Just him, just her, just 7 months of lies collapsing between them. Her mind screamed, run, hide, disappear, but her body was frozen, pregnant, exhausted, trapped. From across the room, Ji-ho's world exploded. He was mid-conversation, the woman beside him laughing at something, his men discussing logistics. Then his eyes scanned the room. Habit, always checking exits, threats, faces. And he saw her, Zuri, in a cheap uniform, belly swollen, face tired, pregnant. His brain did the math instantly. 8 months pregnant, 7 months since she left. The air left his lungs. The woman on his arm said something he didn't hear, didn't care. Memories slammed into him. Her laugh, her smile, Her body curled against his in the dark, the baby clothes he bought, the empty closet, the note that destroyed him. And now this. She was here, alive, pregnant, with his child. He stood. Jiho. The woman reached for him. He shook her off, didn't even look. His men stood too, alert, confused. He crossed the diner. Every step echoed. Every eye watched. People moved out of his way. Whispers erupted. Fear rippled, but he didn't see them. Only her. She turned. Their eyes met. God, she looked tired, beautiful, broken. Zuri. His voice was rough, barely controlled. What is this? She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. His gaze dropped to her belly. Rage, pain, confusion, all of it hit at once. Please. Her voice cracked. Just go. Hate me if you want. Pretend you never saw me. Pretend? He stepped closer, smelled the grease, the exhaustion, the fear. You think I can pretend? You signed the papers. No, I didn't. Her face went white. Before she could respond, the baby kicked. She gasped. Hand flew to her stomach. Jiho saw, his whole body locked. He reached out, grabbed her wrist. Not rough, not gentle, desperate. The baby kicked again, right there, where his hand hovered. His breath stopped. His vision blurred. 7 months of grief, anger, searching, hating, missing, all of it shattered. Hate me when I'm inside you. His voice broke, raw. Inside your life again, inside the story of that child. The diner went silent. Zuri's tears spilled over, and everyone knew. Something big, something dangerous, something broken was about to either heal or explode. Jiho's jaw clenched, his eyes locked on hers. I'm not walking out of here without you. He motioned to his men. They moved toward the exits, blocking. Zuri's heart pounded. Jiho, don't. 7 months, Zuri. 7 months you let me think you abandoned me. I didn't have a choice. Then tell me why. For 7 months they'd both lived with a lie. Tonight would be the first crack in the glass. I need her for another hour. Jiho pulled out a stack of cash, slapped it on the counter. The diner owner stared. It was more than the place made in a month. Whatever trouble this causes, consider it covered. The owner nodded. Fast. Zuri tried to pull away. I'm not going anywhere with you. Yes, you are. You can't just watch me. His men cleared a path. People pretended not to look, but everyone saw. The king of Atlanta dragging his pregnant ex-wife out of a diner. This would be a story told for years. The car was black, expensive, leather seats that smelled like money. Zuri sat as far from him as possible, hand protective over her belly. He stared at her. She stared out the window. Silence crushed the space between them. Why didn't you tell me? He finally asked. You signed the papers. I didn't sign anything. She turned, looked at him, really looked. His eyes weren't lying. Her stomach dropped. But I saw it, your signature. Then it was forged. The word hung in the air like smoke. Forged. Who would? She stopped, went pale. He saw it, leaned forward. Zuri, who? She shook her head. Just take me back. No. Jiho, please. Not until you tell me what happened. He took her to a penthouse across town, not his main place, somewhere his mother didn't know about, safe. He called a doctor, made her sit, ordered food. She wanted to argue, but her body betrayed her. She was starving, exhausted, swollen. The doctor checked her over. She's okay, baby's okay, but she needs rest, real rest. Jiho nodded, paid the doctor twice what he asked. When they were alone, he sat across from her. Talk. There's nothing to... Don't lie to me. Not now. Not after this. She looked at him. This man who terrified grown men. This man who used to hold her like she was the only thing keeping him alive. Do you have any idea what it did to me when you vanished? His voice cracked. I looked everywhere. I broke people. I burned bridges. I tore this city apart trying to find you. I know. Then why? Because staying would have gotten you killed. Silence. What? I was protecting you. From what? She couldn't say it, not yet, not out loud. He stood, paced, ran his hands through his hair. Zuri, I've survived enemies, betrayals, wars you don't even know about. What could possibly... I was threatened, she whispered. He froze. Someone came to me, told me if I stayed, you'd die, that the baby would be used against you, that my mother... Her voice broke. They knew where she lived, what she looked like. They had a gun. Jiho's face went blank. Who? She couldn't say it. The words stuck in her throat. Zuri. Who threatened you? Tears streamed down her face, hand on her belly, voice shaking. You want to know who made me leave? Who put a gun to our future? She met his eyes. It was your mother. Silence. Then the glass in his hand shattered. Blood dripped. He didn't notice. His face cracked. Disbelief, rage, heartbreak, all of it crashing at once. My mother? Zuri nodded, tears falling, body shaking. Jiho staggered back, sat down hard. The woman who gave him life had stolen it from him, and Ryu Jiho was not a man who let theft go unpunished, even when the thief shared his blood. The woman who had given him life had stolen it from him, and Ryu Jiho was not a man who let theft go unpunished, even when the thief shared his blood